Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina. It's super dark in this room because it's nighttime. Duh. So these are my studying glasses. I just got done with my last final and I've been struggling with trying to figure out what I wanted to read because I don't know why. I have just don't know what I want to read. So, you know, it's time. It's time. Listen, okay, so in I believe my second reading vlog when I was reading The Chamber of Secrets, a lot of people came after me for watching Draco Talk. I have no shame. I have all the spoilers when it comes to Draco Malfoy at this point, and it's fine. No one come at me. I still haven't watched the movies, and I still have not read the last 3 books, so let's do it. So this reading vlog, we are going to be reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is a honking book. This book is 900 pages. But it's fine. It is mid-December right now when I'm starting this. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read this book, but I have high hopes. It's not very long. I just got done with my finals for school, so I have a couple weeks until classes restart, but I am working next week. I am on vacation from work, so hopefully yeah. My brain. Oh, what's going on? We are going to be starting Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is the 4th book in the Harry Potter series. What is happening? I'm excited. I have a couple things that are Harry Potter that are coming in the mail, which I'm very excited for, and I will be unboxing them on camera in this vlog because it's all about Harry Potter in this vlog. I have a couple bookmarks coming. I have dust covers from Nerdy Ink coming, and I have a poster of Diagon Alley, and I want to say a poster of the Burrow, but I don't think that's correct. I think they were out of stock, and I also wanted a family portrait of the Weasleys, but that was out of stock as well, of course, right? So let's just start reading this. Let's do it. Goodbye. That's not a good start to this vlog. I apologize in advance. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Okay, I am just about to go to bed because it's 4 AM and I need to go to bed. I just finished chapter 1, which is page 20. Dementors. What? First of all, terrifying. Those things are scary, and I don't even care who says they aren't. They're terrifying. I'm really liking the way it started. It's gonna be a fun ride. This book, I can already tell. Dudley's a jerk. The norm. But I'm excited to see where this book takes me. Also, he's a neighbor that's a witch. Awesome. What? Wait till the Dursleys hear about that. Alright, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll read a little bit tomorrow and update you guys later. Bye. Hello, we're focused now. Finally. I haven't updated this reading vlog in a couple days. My brain is everywhere. But I'm on vacation now from work, so now I have more time to read. So hopefully I can finish this book in a couple days. That is the plan here. So I read a little more of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I am on page 58, which is chapter 4. Harry just got picked up by Lupin, Tonks, Moody. There was a ton of people there, and they came and picked up Harry to go to the headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix, and I'm really liking it so far. When Harry got attacked by the Dementors with Dudley in the alleyway. I cannot speak. I'm so tired. That was so surprising to me. I was like, Dementors? What? And then Dudley got attacked and Petunia knew what Dementors were. And that was really surprising to me because she always, I know her family is magical, and I think she's a squib if I remember correctly. She seems to be very anti-magical. Like, she doesn't want anything to do with the magic community. She doesn't want to know anything about the magical community. And it really surprised me that she knew what Dementors were and she knew what they did. That was really surprising to me, and I really liked that. And when she got a howler, I was like, who is sending Miss Petunia howlers? I need to find that out. But I'm really liking it so far. I'm hoping I can get to at least page 100 tonight, but I don't know. I know I want to get up kind of early tomorrow, so we'll see. But I am going to get a little bit more reading done, and I will let you know how I am feeling about it. I know in my last reading vlog, a lot of people wanted to see more reading, so we're going to read this book. All right, let's do some reading, and then I will update you maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know yet. I am on page, I hope this camera doesn't fall because you're balancing on my knee. I am on page 66, and Harry just got to the meeting place of the Order of the Phoenix, and he meets up with Hermione and Ron because he's too young to be part of the Order of the Phoenix. And he's yelling at Hermione and Ron because he feels left out, because they got to be like part of this secret group. They know what's going on, and Ron and Harry's just kind of left in the dark. And Harry is screaming at them, like he's like, you left me out, like I can't believe you, like I'm the one who found Tom Riddle, I'm the one who found the Sorcerer's Stone, like what'd you do, were you attacked by Dementors? He's like yelling at them, and they're just like dumbfounded because they were so excited to see him. And I was like, wow, that's kind of like Harry Potter. This makes him seem like such a little brat for me, because his friends, listen, at this point, what, they're in their 4th year, so they're what, 16, 17. They were told by an adult not to do something, especially in a wizard school. Like, I personally wouldn't want to tell if I was told not to tell, especially in wizard world, magical world that's like rule based. Like, obviously Hermione's not the type of person to break the rules, but I don't know, Harry's making me feel some type of way. So I just got to the part where they're talking about how Percy basically just dipped out because he didn't want to go on the Ministry's back to stand up for his family and Dumbledore. And honestly, I feel like we all should have expected that from Percy. Like, honestly, because Percy has always been such a stuck-up little know-it-all. From the first movie where he caught, was it the first movie or the second movie, when they went and seen Draco in the second movie, I think, when they went and seen Draco in the Slytherin room dressed as Crabbe and Goyle, and Percy's like, you were not supposed to be here, son. I've never liked Percy. I love the Weasleys. Honestly, my favorite fictional family. But I've never liked Percy. I just feel like he doesn't belong in that family. It's okay, Percy. I'll take your place. You're welcome. But I just want to touch on that because I feel like we all should have expected that from Percy. Should have expected it. That's it. Okay, so I think this part's funny. That's why I want to comment on it. It says, what? I can't speak. Whose creature? He asked. The house elf who lives here, said Ron. Nutter. Never met anyone like him. Hermione frowned at Ron. He's not a nutter, Ron. His life's ambition is to have his head cut off and stuck up on a plaque just like his mother, said Ron irritably. Is that normal, Hermione? You know what that reminds me of? There's this serial killer who used to say when he sees beautiful women, beautiful women. I can't speak. When he sees a beautiful woman, the first thing he thinks is how beautiful she is, and the second thing he thinks is how beautiful her head would look on a stake. That's what that reminded me of. Also, if you know who said that, let me know, because people were saying it's Ted Bundy, and I don't think it's him. I think it's somebody else. If you know, you know. All of these angles look so funny. It's because you're balancing on my knee. What up? So I just finished the part where they are in the house of the Order of the Phoenix, and hey girl, and what is going, okay, stay. And Tonks falls down, me, and wakes up the portrait, and I can only think of these, like, my friend's mom has these like huge antique paintings in her living room of like Victorian era people. This is what I'm thinking of. Victorian era, like the Scream, you know what I'm talking about? No thank you. That's in my nightmares. I'm gonna pass. That's when Sirius and Molly were arguing over Harry, and Molly was like, he's just as good as my son, or just as good as my child. And I'm like, my heart like is shattered into pieces, because yeah, basically I lost my page because my book but it was so sad because Harry doesn't have parents, and that for me, I've always feel like Molly was as close to a mother as he had, and I'm like, oh, he feels the same way. My heart. I love it. It is extremely surprising to me that Sirius's brother and parents, I guess, were very pro Voldemort. This is surprising to me because of how devoted Sirius is to the Potters and to Dumbledore and the Order, and it's surprising to me. It's really surprising how half of his family are Death Eaters and totally pro Voldemort, but the other half of his family, put that in quotations if you will, are very pro, I don't know, I guess freedom. I don't know how I would describe that, but I just want to comment on that because I thought that was really neat, I guess, how they like put Sirius in this kind of tug of war between his two families. Okay, back to reading. Oh my gosh, the part when they are cleaning the drawing room and there were spiders and Ron left and did not come back. That is just on brand for Ronald Weasley. I love it. My camera just did a very strange thing. So I just sorry, I don't know why I'm giggling. I just finished chapter 7 and it is the chapter where Arthur, or Mr. Weasley, and Harry are going to the Ministry of Magic to get ready for Harry's hearing because Mr. Weasley works at the Ministry of Magic. And they basically took 3/4 of the chapter to describe the Ministry of Magic and what it looked like and how you get to the floors. And honestly, I loved the imagery you get because especially in Harry Potter, the world is so vast. And I loved, because you hear throughout the last 4 books, we've heard so much about the Ministry of Magic and how Mr. Weasley works there and what all the work they do. They basically deal with anything that goes against Statute of Secrecy, basically anything that would put wizards at risk. And you see all the different floors they have and all the different kind of departments they have to filter the rules and make sure the rules get followed. And I just loved it. I loved the imagery and the imagination that went into it. Like, J.K. Rowling has such a vivid imagination when it comes to Harry Potter. Like, you cannot deny her writing is incredible. Now, not talking about her as a person because she's kind of terrible, but her writing, grade A, magnificent. I love it because it is magical. It is everything you want in a fantasy story, and I just can't get over how beautiful it was. Like, she even went as far as making these little things that are just unnecessary. We don't need them, but they add to the story, like Arthur meeting the guy with the chicken and getting off and on every single floor and telling you what's going on there, like stuff like that. It just made it so much more real, and I just want to point that out because I love stories that do that, that help you imagine the world, and that definitely painted a very vivid picture for me. And I'm really hoping when I watch the movie that we are able to see the Ministry of Magic and him and Arthur going into the Ministry of Magic and his hearing, which I'm about to read about. So on to chapter 8. I am on page 136. Really loving it so far. So I can already tell this vlog is going to have a lot of commentary of the book. I know my Goblet of Fire reading vlog didn't have a lot of commentary, and I'm really close to my face, and I'm so sorry. I'm holding my phone, or what is it? I'm holding my camera instead of sitting it somewhere, so apologize for that. But Harry just sat down at his hearing, and Dumbledore just kind of strides in as his witness. First of all, I love Dumbledore. Some people are like, he suck, just so you know. And I'm like, no, I refuse to believe that. But the Ministry is like afraid of Dumbledore because, you know, he strides up in and they're like, oh, we didn't think you got the owl saying the time had changed. And Dumbledore was like, I got it, son. Like, Dumbledore is so like nonchalant about it. He's like, yeah, I got it, don't worry. I love it. I absolutely love it. But Percy, I want to make a note about Percy because he was kind of removed himself from the Weasley family. Like, they mentioned how on Arthur's desk he has a picture of his family, and quote, Percy had seemed to just walk out of the picture. He was not in the picture, and that really hurt me. Like, I don't know, it was really sad to me that he chose his job over his family and how important it is for them to be there for Harry and to stand up against Voldemort. And Percy's all about the rules, and I think we knew that from the beginning, but it's just really sad to like see like the actual aftermath of it and how Molly won't talk about him and he's not in any of their pictures anymore, and that's just really sad for me. Let's get on with the hearing. Can we talk about how brutal Dumbledore is? They brought in their witness, which is Mrs. Fig, and she told them what happened with the Dementors in Little Wingham or Winging. I don't remember. My brain hurts. And Fudge is like, that there's just no way that Dementors were in, you know, and they're supposed to be in Azkaban. They're not allowed to leave Azkaban. And Dumbledore says, well, someone ordered them there if they were there, and apparently someone else, they're taking orders from someone else, meaning obviously Voldemort. And Fudge says, well, you know my view on that, and I don't think Voldemort is sending them there, and they're not taking orders from Voldemort. And Dumbledore is like, well then, who in the Ministry is sending Dementors to Surrey? And I was like, oh, Dumbledore. He's brutal. He does not care. Every time I'm reading Harry Potter and someone mentions Mr. Malfoy, my immediate reaction is, oh my god. That man annoys the holy HE double hockey sticks out of me, and he don't even have to do nothing. That's it. And Mr. Malfoy, I'm talking about Lucius. If I'm saying that correctly, someone let me know. If I'm saying it wrong, please let me know, but I'm probably gonna say it like that this entire video, and I apologize. Can we talk about how incredibly adorable Molly is when she finds out that Ron got prefect? Oh, it's so cute. I love it. Ron deserves it. He's such a little sweetie pie. Okay, moving forward. Okay, I just finished chapter 9, so we need to talk. We need to talk about this chapter. First of all, Harry is being a little jerk because he notes that he feels like he's starting to think like Draco Malfoy because he's being very arrogant, being very, I'm better than everybody. And he is being that way. Throughout this whole past 179 pages, he has been acting like that. And I've commented on this, I feel like, before. And it's just really aggravating me at this point. And then there was something else I wanted to comment on. What was it? Oh, Ron making prefect. Can we all just give a little round of applause? Because if anyone deserves that prefect badge, it is Ronald Weasley. He is there for his friends. He does his best. I love Ron. Ron is one of my favorite characters. And Mrs. Weasley's boggart. My heart is broken for her. Can't even imagine her pure fear for her 6 children, especially when they're fighting Voldemort and she's in the order and she has to send her kids off to school where she can't protect them all the time. And my heart was broken imagining Molly under the table sobbing, trying to defeat this boggart, and it just keeps showing her every single person in her family dead, including Harry. That was so heartbreaking. My heart is so broken for Molly. That was so freaking sad. My heart. Okay, I'm gonna read chapter 10 entitled Luna Lovegood. So I'm excited to meet Luna. And I also wanted to comment, I forgot, the photo that Moody, if I remember correctly, it was Moody, gave Harry of like the last order, and the Longbottoms were in it, which is Neville's parents. And it makes me really sad because I don't think I ever fully realized that Neville is being raised by his grandmother because his parents died defending I guess everybody. They died in the First Wizarding World War. And every time I hear about Neville or his family, it makes me so sad because Neville is such a little sweetie pie. And on why only Luna and Harry can see the scary looking horses that are pulled by the carriages. And I got to the part where Luna says her very iconic quote that says, "Don't worry, you're just as sane as I am." And Draco Malfoy is a prefect. Did we expect that? No. Honestly, absolutely not. But I mean, really? Does he get in trouble? No. He's just a little asshole. And he doesn't let teachers see his asshole tendencies, so I can understand why he's a prefect, to be honest. Okay, on chapter 199. What? Page 199. I'm gonna probably read one more chapter and then I'm gonna go to... So I'm now page 208, and the Sorting Hat just gave his song, and he has a new song, and I think it's like a foreshadowing, definitely, because the Sorting Hat basically is saying Hogwarts is in grave danger and the people who learn inside of the school need to stick together and unite. And that is definitely something that is very true, because there are definitely rivalries, especially with Slytherin and the other houses. And I like how the Sorting Hat kind of took his responsibility, and even near really headless Nick is like, he knows what he's talking about. Like, he stays in Dumbledore's office, so he obviously has to know like things we don't know. And I don't know, I just want to comment on that because I feel like it's going to be an important aspect of the story. Definitely. Okay, I'm about to head to bed for the night. I am on page 220, so I read a little over 100 pages tonight. I'm okay with, which means I should be able to finish this book if I stay about 150, 200 pages a day. I should be able to finish it by Saturday, so fingers crossed. Still have to read my book for my book club, so that's cool. But I wanted to comment on, look at this picture of Professor Umbridge. Look at that. Oh girl, you're looking spicy. Hello. Oh, amazing. But I'm going to head to sleepy time, and I will update you guys tomorrow when I'm reading a little bit more. Bye. Hello everyone, it is the next day. I don't remember if I updated yet today, but it is the next day. Am I in the same sweater? Yes. I am on page 238 at the moment, so I think I'm about a quarter of the way through, which is exciting. But I just want to give a little update. I read about 2 chapters today and I just didn't really have anything to update yet, but now I have something to comment on. So they are in their Care for Magical Creatures class and Hagrid has disappeared. Who knows where Hagrid is at this point. But Professor Grubbly Plank is their new Care for Magical Creatures professor, and I'm really liking her. I believe it's a her. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a her. And anyway, you know, Draco Malfoy is being a D-bag as usual, and it says, "Never you mind," says Professor Grubbly Plank repressively, which had been her attitude last time Hagrid had failed to turn up for class 2. Smirking all over his pointed face, Draco Malfoy leaned across Harry and seized the largest Bowtruckle. "Maybe," said Malfoy in an undertone, so that only Harry could hear him, "the stupid great oaf's got himself badly injured." "Maybe you will if you don't shut up," Harry said out the side of his mouth. I cannot stand Harry in this book. He is such a D-bag, and I love it at times, and other times it's so annoying. But I want to comment on it because honestly I was like, go Harry, stand up for yourself, son. I liked it a lot. Hello, we are updating again. I am in a different area. Joe wanted to play his game, so I came in my office next to my Christmas tree and we're gonna read. So I am on page 275, and at first I didn't think Umbridge was that horrible. I thought she was just kind of like, I guess, trying to clean up the mess that all the other DA teachers, DAD, I think they call it dad teachers had made. Dada teachers, Defense Against the Dark Arts, yes, Dada teachers had made. And I didn't think she was horrible. But she put Harry in detention and she's making him write with that quill that kind of like etches it into his hand as he writes, and that's really screwed up and I'm not a fan personally. So it makes me really curious what she has in store, like what she's planning, because that's just strange. It's very, very weird to me. And then I love how Ron was a little on edge telling Harry that he wanted to try out for the Gryffindor keeper. I love that because Ron has always been one of my favorite characters, and I think he would do so well. I think that would give him something to, I don't know, I guess show himself off, and like, I don't know, because he, for me, like, in the list of favorite Weasley children, he is probably above Fred and George, and that's it. I feel like Percy is still up there even after what he did. But yeah, I just want to comment on that. Let's continue to read. Okay, I'm currently on page 298, and what is this? This lighting always does this every time I open up like my camera. I need to like start to not to talk until it finishes doing the thing. But I am on page 298, and Percy just wrote Ron the letter. And first of all, I would like to comment on how I was pleasantly surprised that he had owled Ronald, but I don't like how he says,
I must admit that I have always been afraid you would take what we call the Fred and George route rather than following in my footsteps, so you can imagine my feelings on hearing you have stopped flouting authority and have decided to shoulder some real responsibility. So here's the thing. I don't think what Fred and George are doing are wrong. I definitely just think that they fully feel that they don't want to be like stuck in the ministry, or, you know, telling people they can't use magic one way or another, when they honestly just want to run their joke shop and have fun with magic, which is amazing. And I think Percy is taking loyalty in the wrong people, and he's like, don't mess around with Harry Potter, don't be friends with Harry Potter, and Ron is disgusted at this. So I don't know, I think Percy's what's the word I'm looking for? Percy's loyalty, that's the word I'm looking for, wow, lies with the wrong people. So moving forward and on, continuing to read. Another update, look at me. So I am on page 306, and they just met Sirius came up on the fire like he did in the third book, and he's talking to Harry, and they're talking about how they're not really sure where Hagrid is because he was with Madame Maxine, which I'm assuming they're a couple, the saying. And I don't know, I'm feeling some type of way about Hagrid right now. I need to know where he is, and I need to know what happened. That's it. That's all. Also, and I love how Sirius is so willing to like basically just ruin his life to make sure Harry is fine, and to see Harry, like, he's like, I will come to Hogsmeade for you, and he's like, no, dude. But yes, back to reading. Oh look, another comment. Who would have known, right? So I'm on page 312, and they're talking about how the ministry has decided to appoint Umbridge into Hogwarts so she can kind of, in quotations, keep an eye on everything and make sure everybody's teaching how they're supposed to. And in a way, for me, I feel like that's not horrible, because obviously there needs to be a standard set for the classes, right? Hear me out. But at the same time, I feel like this is just a way for the ministry to kind of sneak into the teachings, like Umbridge not letting them use any magic in the class, which I think is weird. I think this is weird because if you're teaching defense against the dark art, hear me out, shouldn't you be teaching your students how to defend themselves against the dark art? That's all I gotta say. Okay, I'm gonna continue to read. I always say her name wrong, and somebody commented on it on my one video, and they're like, you said her name wrong, and I apologize. I am not, pronunciation is not my forte. Professor McGonagall, I don't know. She does not care. Professor Umbridge is like in her room and like watching her teach, and she's just like, shut the hell up, stop interrupting me, because how you about to listen to me teach if you don't shut the hell up? And I'm like, girl, I loved it. Hello, back again with another update. Who would have known? I'm on page 349, and I'm loving how Harry is still smitten with Cho, and Ron's reaction when Ginny had a boyfriend, perfect, absolutely perfect. And then George and Fred are just like, great. This is the only thing I have to say. Do you remember when Professor Snape is like, turn to page 374. Look what page I'm on. 374. That's all I want to say.
And I want to scream. Snape does not say 374. He says 94. Turn to page 394. Oh my god. I can't believe I fucked that up. That's my life. I just want to point out my mistake. Alright. Are you guys ready to laugh at me? Are you ready? It never occurred to me that the Quidditch team had locker rooms. Never occurred to me. I don't know why. I just thought they just went back up to the Gryffindor Tower and was like, I'm soaked and gotta change my clothes. I literally never in my life thought they had locker rooms. Am I the only one who thought that? Am I the only one? Comment down below if you didn't know they had locker rooms, because I feel so stupid. You have no idea. So Dobby has just told Harry about the room of requirement, and I know the room of requirement has a lot of, I guess, book time, and I don't know much about it. Like, even with the spoilers that I've seen, I don't know much about it, and it was really interesting to me to learn that the room of requirement
as you need something, it will appear. So you can only go in the room if you need something from it, I guess, is the way that they described it. And I thought that was super interesting. So just wanted to point that out. I was just introduced to that. I'm on page 388. Let's see if we can get to 500 tonight, because hello everyone, we changed positions again. Surprising, shouldn't be. So I am on page 412, and they are playing their first Quidditch battle, I believe, of the year, and they're playing against Slytherin. And I really hope there's more Quidditch in this movie than the last two, because I feel like Quidditch has taken a back burner, but in the books, Quidditch, it's still a very big part of Harry's Hogwarts experience, right? And I'm excited to see Luna's lion hat, because she's just eccentric and I love it. And then I'm very excited to, if they do the Quidditch match, we'll see the Slytherins chanting to Ron, because I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's not important, but at the same time I feel like it is. So we'll see. I don't know, we'll find out. Harry just sucker punched Draco Malfoy, and I am here for it. I'm here for it. You go, Harry. He deserved it. That's it. Hello, I'm on page 440, and I just got done with the chapter where Hagrid gets back to Hogwarts and he is having the conversation with the Golden Trio. And am I the only one that's trouble reading Hagrid's like voice? I don't know if it's the way they like spell everything or what, but I always have trouble reading it. I just wanted your opinion. Let me know, because ugh. Hello, another comment. You know, I am on page 445, and they're getting ready for their first Care for Magical Creatures lesson with Hagrid now that he is back. And it always makes me laugh when it comes to Hagrid's lessons how Draco is incredibly fearful of animals that Hagrid will bring. Because he seems like such a badass, and then the Gryffindors are like, it's not gonna be bad. I just want to point that out because I think it's funny, but I'm really interested to see where we'll go with Hagrid, because I love Hagrid and I've been hearing such bad things about him lately, and it kind of hurts me, but I'm hoping that I like it and I like where he's going in the story. So back to reading. I'm hoping to get page 500 tonight so I can finish this by Christmas Day. So I'll talk to you guys later. This is my last update for the night. I'm on page 466, which isn't as far as I would have liked to read tonight, but do you know when you read so much, your brain is just kind of like, no thanks sis, and you start to like drift off? That's what I was doing. And then I always have reading vlogs playing in the background, so of course Haley and Brooklyn was distracting me. But I'm about I want to say I'm halfway through at this point, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel like for the past like 150, 200 pages, nothing has really happened. Like, it's just kind of like still interesting, but I feel like nothing huge has happened, and it's just kind of Harry living his day-to-day Hogwarts student life. It's not anything dramatic, I guess. So that's where we are with this book. I am going to put this down for the night, and I might read another chapter in bed once I take a shower, but I don't know. But I am, oh my god, do you see that my door? It's really windy outside and it's my lights like hitting the door and it's freaking me out. But I might read another chapter after I shower and stuff, but we'll find out. But I am going to hit the bed. I might make some pizza rolls before I hit the bed, actually. But I will update you guys tomorrow when I've read some more. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to the reading vlog. I read another chapter last night before bed. I wanted to comment on something, but I don't. Oh, Harry had the dream that he was the snake, and he's afraid that like Lord Voldemort like possessed him or whatever. That's weird. But I just filmed 3 videos, my top 10 books of 2020, every book I read in 2020, and my bookshelf tour. There's Dorcas back there doing her thing. So those will be up actually before this video, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, that's what I did. So I'm gonna read some, and then I'll update you guys as I'm reading. So, hello, we are back on my camera, which is strange. I took a nap. If I look tired, that's why. So I'm on page 769, and they just got to the Ministry of Magic where they are going to save Sirius, and Harry's like, we're on a rescue mission, like we need to get an ASAP, when they're on the telephone booth and they're freaking
badges say Harry Potter Rescue Mission. That is amazing. That is amazing. I love it. Me and Harry Potter need to have a talk about not touching things that don't belong to him, okay? Because there is the ball and it says Harry Potter and the Dark Lord on it. Sir, sir, why would you pick it up? Knowing the Dark Lord wants to kill you. Why would you be like, this ball has the Dark Lord's name on it, but I want to touch it. That sounds like a great plan, is to touch it. No, Harry Potter, it's not a great plan. Don't do it. Put all your friends in danger because you're dumb. I know this lady. Black shapes emerge from around them after he grabbed that ball, and Mr. Malfoy is obviously there because these Dark Lords bring him in, and he's like, give it to me, Potter, and Potter's like, no. He's like, give it to me, and he's like, I want to know where Sirius is, and it says a girl mimics him and says, I want to know where Sirius is. That's Bellatrix. I know it's Bellatrix. I just know it. I know it. Hey Zelda. Update. It's definitely Bellatrix because it says the woman who mimicked him let out a, wow, I can't say that word, a scream of laughter. From what I know about Bellatrix, it has to be here. It just has to. Oh, look at me. I can tell the future. It says, you hear him giving instructions to their children as though he thinks of fighting us. Oh, you don't know Potter as I do, Bellatrix, said Malfoy softly. He's got a great weakness for heroics. I can't speak. The Dark Lord understands this about him. Now give me the prophecy, Potter. I knew it. Oh, he knows how to play. Little bitty baby Potter. I think Bellatrix is slowly making her way onto my favorite characters list. It goes Hermione, Ron, Draco, Bellatrix at this point. I love the snark. I love her snarkiness. You have those characters in every single book that just kind of stand out to you because of their personality, and Bellatrix is definitely one of them because she's fucking insane, but her personality is so bold and it stands out. So I like her a lot. Oh my god, and by the way, Harry's growing some big balls because he says, shut your mouth, Bellatrix shrieked. You dare speak his name with your unworthy lips. You dare besmirch it with your half-blood's tongue. You dare. Did you know he's a half-blood too? Said Harry recklessly. Hermione gave a little moan in his ear. Voldemort? Yeah, his mother was a witch and his dad was a muggle. Or has he been telling you that he's pure blood? Boy, you couldn't get yourself in a lot of trouble. Anyone else's cat, just say, you know what? You're done reading for the night. You're finished. Can you go? She says no. The Death Eaters have Harry cornered, the usual, and Neville gets crucioed, which is super sad. Little Neville. I love Neville. And then all of a sudden, a door opens, and here comes Sirius, Lupin, Moody, Tonks, and Kingsley to the rescue. This is my everyday. But let's see what happens. I think Sirius just died. I'm emotional to the point that I think I might cry tonight. It says that basically Bellatrix hit him with some kind of a spell and he fell backwards into an archway and he disappeared, and Lupin, I believe, Lupin says there's nothing they can do and he's gone, and Harry just lost the last of his living family that like loved him. That is so sad. I literally want to cry. Also, this is my reading buddy. Her name's Zelda. But that is so sad. I'm so sad for Harry. Oh my gosh. Okay. I would like to point out that I legitimately cannot, with the amount of shit that's happening in these last 2 chapters, my brain is exploding. Okay. First of all, Bellatrix kills Sirius. Didn't need that in my life. Second of all, Bellatrix is trying to kill Harry. Didn't need that in my life. Third of all, Bellatrix tries to kill Tonks. Didn't need that in my life either. And now Harry's going after Bellatrix because, you know, he doesn't know when to stop. And now here comes Voldy. I can't deal with this chapter. And of course, I still got my buddy. I love how Voldemort's like, it's your time. Avacadabra. And then Dumbledore's like, no. Oh my god. Can we all just thoroughly agree that Dumbledore needs like the purple, what is it, the Purple Heart? He gets it for defending Harry Potter on the battlefield, okay? Thank you. Now I'm gonna get shit for this. And do I expect to get shit for it? Absolutely. So, Voldemort said deuces and evaporated. And Bellatrix is like on the ground sobbing because she's scared of what Voldemort will do to her.
And that's so terrifying. I kind of feel bad for her. Because I feel like I know like she probably came from a good family and then like became a Death Eater or whatever. Like there's obviously things I don't know about Bellatrix. I know. But every time I state my opinion, someone gives me some bull snozzle. So I kind of feel bad for her because I'm like, what would have happened if Bellatrix would not have done those things for Voldy and she would have just been a good girl? I'm curious. It's just like with Draco and Lucius and all them. What would have happened if they weren't Death Eaters? Would they have been a good people? Probably, but I don't know. Okay, so Voldy just came back, grabbed Bellatrix, and then said deuces. And Fudge, who is, I don't know if he's I think he's the Minister of Magic. He's like, yeah, I saw him too. Like, he must feel a whole lot of stupid. That's all I gotta say for not believing Harry. He must feel a whole lot of stupid. Please don't fall. Thank you. So, Dumbledore. Can we talk about Dumbledore for a minute? Can we all just sit down and have a conversation about Headmaster Dumbledore? Because he's a badass. And I don't care what anybody else says. Like, they're like, Cornelius' Fudge is like, sees him, like he's on the run, whatever. And Dumbledore's like, that's gonna be a no-go. And then he's like, well, you seen you know who, and if you don't let Hagrid go, fire Umbridge, and let me get back to my school, I ain't telling you shit. And I was like, okay. I can't deal. I literally cannot deal with him. And then he's like, you can't use a port key here. Dumbledore, you have no authority to use a port key here. And Dumbledore is like, shut the hell up. I cannot deal. I cannot deal. I'm literally like about to be in tears. I'm not even kidding, because I get like emotionally invested in characters, which is like really bad, and I probably shouldn't do that. But Harry is back in Dumbledore's office, and he's like reminiscing, right? He's like looking out the window at Hogwarts grounds, and it says, I'm literally about to cry if I read this out loud. Harry turned his back on Dumbledore and stared determinedly out the opposite window. He could see the Quidditch stadium in the distance. Sirius had appeared there once, disguised as a shaggy black dog, so he could watch Harry play. He had probably come to see whether Harry was as good as James had been. Harry had never been able to ask him. Oh, I'm literally about to cry. I feel so bad for Harry. I'm okay. I'm not gonna cry tonight over Harry Potter. I've cried way too many times over Harry Potter this week, and I ain't doing it again. I think we all need a Dumbledore in our life now that I've contained myself. Because Harry is obviously, there's Zelda chilling. Harry is obviously in distress, completely upset about Sirius, and Dumbledore says, you have now lost your mother, your father, and the closest thing to a parent that you've ever known. Of course you care. And Harry, is freaking out, pissed off. He's trying to leave, so he runs down the stairs, tries to wrench open the door, and the door won't open. And and Harry's like, let me out, and Dumbledore's like, no, that's gonna be a pass. And Harry's like, if you don't let me out, I'm gonna, fuck everything up. And Dumbledore's like, are you gonna keep destroying my things? Because I already had too many of them. And I'm like, Dumbledore is so nonchalant for the situation, and I like it. Hold on, I always had a suspicion that Creature was a little asshole, okay? Because Dumbledore just said that when Sirius got irritated with him at Christmas and told him to get out, he took that order and went to go see Narcissa, which is the only other black family member that he had respect for. What? My brain is like right now. I don't know what's going on. So Dumbledore just told us how Petunia got the Howler. It was him. I would never have expected. And the reason that my brain is like exploding right now. The reason he left him at his Aunt Petunia's house instead of with any other wizarding family that would very well took him in, because he wanted to keep him alive, because there were so many people in the magic world that wanted him dead. And my brain is just like, what? And then since Voldemort shed his mother's blood, placing him inside his Aunt Petunia's house guaranteed that Voldemort would never be able to enter the house because of the bloodshed. Petunia has the same blood as his mother. My brain is like exploding right now. My brain is in shambles. So the prophecy could not only have been Harry, but it could have been Neville. In my brain, I don't have words. So Dumbledore just got done telling Harry Potter basically the prophecy that he created for Harry, and my heart is so broken for Harry right now. It says, "I feel like I owe you another explanation, Harry," said Dumbledore hesitantly. "You may perhaps have wondered why I never showed you as a prefect. I must confess that I rather thought you had enough responsibility to go on." I love Dumbledore. There, I said it. Because he's like Harry's like biggest supporter, right? He like goes out of his way to keep him safe, and that harms Harry, but it is good for Harry all at the same time. And my heart just hurts for him. And also, I'm on the very last chapter, and it's called, if you can see that, The Second War Begins. Shit's about to go down, y'all, and I'm ready for it. Okay, I love how they are in the hospital ward and visiting Ron because he, you know, got attacked by the brain. And they're all there, and Ginny says that Flitwick has gotten rid of Fred and George's swamp that they made, and she also says that Flitwick has went out of his way to make a little piece stay and roped it off because it was such a good use of magic. And I think that just goes to show that even though Fred and George had no interest in school, obviously, they were extremely good at magic. Like, can we all sit down and realize how amazing Fred and George were? Because they did such awesome things. Like, they played jokes, don't get me wrong, but they were like immaculate, and I'm obsessed, honestly. But I am going to continue to read. I love Professor McGonagall, my favorite teacher. I don't care, because Snape's like, "Oh, you're gonna fight Malfoy in the middle of the hallway? 10 points from Gryffindor." And Professor McGonagall's like, "No, you're wrong, sir, because Gryffindor has no more points you could take away." And she's like, "Oh, well, they alerted you know who's back, so 50 points for each." And Snape's just like, "What?" I love her so much. Black, yet again, making me teary-eyed. So Harry is packing away his stuff to go back to his Aunt Petunia's house, and he finds the little gift that Sirius gave him when he was leaving, that he had thrown into his trunk because he didn't want Molly to see it. And I don't need to cry today over Sirius Black. Wrote Harry a little note that says, "This is a two-way mirror. I've got the other. If you need to speak to me, just say my name into it, and you'll appear in my mirror, and I'll be able to talk in yours. James and I used to use them when we were in separate detentions." And Harry starts to cry Sirius's name into it, and Sirius doesn't appear, and that is so sad. I don't need to be crying over Sirius Black, but that is so sad. And then he's like going to find Nick, like Nearly Headless Nick, because he's like, well, Sirius could come back as a ghost. And Nearly Headless Nick is like, "I'm sorry, like he didn't come back. He's not gonna come back." And I'm like crying over Sirius Black today, but it's so sad. Oh my god, what is going on? Okay, I need to finish reading and stop crying. Who didn't need to cry several times over Harry Potter tonight? Me. Who did it anyway? Also me. So, update, the latest crying attack happened from this passage. It says, when the ticket inspector signaled to him, Ron and Hermione, it was safe for them to walk through the magical barrier between platforms 9 and 10. However, he found a surprise waiting for him on the other side, a group of people standing there to greet him, whom he had not expected at all. There was Mad-Eye Moody, looking quite sinister with his boiler hat pulled low enough in his magical eye that he would have done without it, his gnarled hands clutching a long staff, his body wrapped in a voluminous traveling cloak. Tonks stood just behind him, her bright bubblegum pink hair gleaming in the sunlight, filtering through a dirty glass station ceiling. Wearing heavily patched jeans and a bright purple t-shirt beating the legend, The Weird Sisters. Next to Tonks was Lupin, his face pale, his hair graying, a long and threadbare overcoat covering a shabby jumper and trousers. At the front of the group stood Mr. and Mrs. Weasley, dressed in their muggle best, and Fred and George, who were both wearing brand new jackets in the same lurid green scaly material. They all came for him, and then they threatened the Dursleys and said, "You better not be treating Harry Potter bad when they're in your presence, or we gonna fuck you up." And then the last chapter, the last paragraph got me. "Take care, Harry," said Lupin quietly. "Keep in touch. Harry, we'll have you away from there as soon as we can, Mrs. Weasley whispered, hugging him again. We'll see you soon, mate, said Ron anxiously, shaking Harry's hand. Really soon, Harry, said Hermione earnestly. We promise. Harry nodded. He somehow could not find the words to tell them what it meant to him to see them all ranged there on his side. Instead, he smiled, raised a hand in farewell, turned around, and led the way out of the station toward the sunlit street, with Uncle Vernon, Aunt Petunia, and Dudley hurrying along in his wake. I didn't mean to cry over Harry Potter today, but I did. I need to compose myself before I get my final thoughts.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Now that I've composed myself from crying, I just finished Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling, and honestly, this book was everything. Not my favorite in the series so far. I think Goblet of Fire is still definitely my favorite, but this book was emotional for me. People you came to love passed away, and then there were so many important parts of the story that became adamant on like why they were so important, and a lot of things came to light on Harry Potter's past and how important Dumbledore is to the story. My heart is just shattered in pieces, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you, my heart's broken. So I'm really gonna think the thumbnail tomorrow because I don't have eyebrows on, but that's besides the point. But this was so good, and me and my fiance are gonna watch the movie tomorrow, so I'm very, very, very excited. This was completely heartbreaking, but it was so good, and I'm very excited to watch the movie. So I'm ready. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the movie. Bye.
This just happened all sorts of quick. This is not what happened. This is not correct. Why are they in this scary alley? That's not what happened. This is not correct. That Expecto Patronum was not dramatic, and I am disgusted. I needed there to be an earthquake as he said it.
That's fine. Let him pass out and give him some chocolate.
Shut the hell up. Where's Petunia's howler? Didn't come. Harry was not threatened with his wand. I'm disgusted at this movie so far. Disgusted. This happened real fast because this doesn't happen till like the 6th chapter. Petunia's howler never came. Harry only got 1 letter versus like the 8, and then Sirius being like, stay home. I'm disgusted. There's Lupin. Lupin didn't come. Lupin's my favorite. Also, there's Lupin stimps, and I'm disgusted. The Ministry of Magic. Beautiful. I love it. Everything I wanted it to be, honestly. This is what happened in the book. In the book, he goes to Arthur's little... They didn't even mention Percy yet. They were in his little office, and he told Harry about how Percy was like deuces. And then they had to run down there because the time was I'm not happy.
That was disgusting, and I'm going to apologize for doing it, but I was very angry throughout most of this movie because nothing was correct, okay? Okay, I just want to say I'm sorry for being gross. Moving forward.
Harry is like super on edge, but he's not as much of an asshole as he was in the book. I'll give him that, because he pissed me off that entire book. Met Luna too late. He's supposed to meet her on the train, but okay. Dumbledore looks like really pissed off that Umbridge is talking, but in the book he was just like, do your thing, sis. What is going on with this movie? Because I feel like it's overly dramatic for like no reason. I'm getting their prefect letters. They didn't show like none of the order house. I am disgusted. They didn't show Sirius's screaming mother. That was like a whole big thing. I'm so annoyed at this movie already. Already, Joe. I needed Molly Weasley's reaction to the fucking prefect pin. I needed that. That's it. I needed it. Can we talk about Umbridge's very pink office? Okay, update. So we just paused the movie because my furnace was acting weird and my dad came over to look at it. Turns out my breaker just blew. The huge. So we are about 45 minutes into it, and it's a lot different than the book, which is honestly not my favorite thing. It's very fast paced. I think this happens on like page like 400, and we're only 30 minutes in, so. Why don't they go see Arthur at the hospital? I need to know. I needed to see Neville's parents. I'm disgusted. It wasn't Cho who told on the DA group in the book. It was her friend. So I'm disgusted that they're gonna play Cho like that. I also want to point out, they cut Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle a lot of slack in the movies because they were about 20 times more of an asshole in the book than they were in the movie. Just saying. They don't use spelling on Bridges doors, they use the pocket knife. I'm disgusted. There's so many wrong things. I just realized, I can't remember his name, that centaur that they hired to be the deviation teacher, they didn't even show anything like that. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. There was like no suspense getting into the magical globe room. I don't know what it's called, the prophecy room. No suspense, they were just there. There. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. I didn't need to cry over Sirius Black again tonight. I didn't need to, but I did. We have a conversation about how incredibly powerful Dumbledore is as a wizard because I'm here for it, honestly. Alright everyone, I just wanted to give one last update about Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I just got done watching the movie and it's safe to say that I think I could point out the things I added better versus the things they left out because I feel like they left out so much of the book. And they changed things that were super silly for me to change. Like they, I don't know, but they changed a lot of like really silly things and I just wasn't a fan of that, to be honest. But I mean, overall, I did enjoy the movie. I think it could have been a lot better, but you know what? I'm not the director. I don't have a say. But it is for sure a very good book and a very good movie, and I would highly recommend this book and the series because it is getting amazing. I'm so excited to move on to the Half-Blood Prince. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And without further ado, I think that is going to wrap up this reading vlog. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a super big thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below and tell me if you've read Harry Potter or if you're Harry Potter obsessed like I am now. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I upload every Monday and Wednesday. I upload every Monday and Thursday at 11:45 Eastern time. And without further ado, I hope you guys are having a great week and I hope you're having a great magical day, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!